Christian Brueckner, a German convict and the prime suspect in the 2007 disappearance of Madeleine McCann, is a name that chills the blood. His criminal history spans decades, marked by heinous acts, rape, child abuse, burglary, and suspected abduction and murder of a 3-year-old girl. In this documentary, we plunge into the abyss of his mind, dissecting his crimes through the lens of psychology and psychoanalysis to unravel why a man becomes a monster. From his brutal assaults in Portugal to the haunting mystery of Madeleine's vanishing, we'll explore the psyche driving these atrocities. Why Christian Brueckner? His crimes aren't just brutal. They're a psychological puzzle that screams for analysis. What makes a man prey on the vulnerable, leaving a trail of shattered lives? His methods, calculated, predatory, and shrouded in obsession, offer a rare glimpse into a mind warped by compulsion and deviance. Picture this. A man slipping through an open window in Praia da Luz, Portugal, in 2007, snatching a sleeping child from her bed, her parents' mere rooms away. Or imagine him in 2005, breaking into a home to rape a 72-year-old woman, her screams swallowed by the night. These aren't random acts. They're the work of a predator driven by urges science can help us decode. His crimes, drenched in violence and control, demand we ask, what breeds such darkness? Let's start at the beginning, where monsters are made. Christian Brueckner was born in 1976 in Germany, a child of chaos. Adopted as an infant, he grew up in a fractured home, his early years marred by instability. Psychoanalysis tells us that early attachment, or lack thereof, shapes the psyche. Brueckner's adoptive parents reportedly struggled to connect with him, leaving a void where empathy should have grown. By adolescence, he was a loner, described by peers as twisted and irritating, prone to picking fights. At 17, he molested a 6-year-old girl on a playground, his first recorded sexual offense. This wasn't a one-off. It was a spark that lit a lifelong fire. Psychologists would point to this as a sign of paraphilic disorder, specifically pedophilia, where sexual attraction to children becomes a compulsive drive. But why? The answer lies in his fractured psyche, a cocktail of rejection, rage, and a desperate need for control. Brueckner's teenage years were a descent into delinquency. He drifted, committing burglaries and sexual assaults, his crimes escalating in audacity. By his 20s, he'd moved to Portugal's Algarve, living a nomadic life in a camper van. To the world, he was a drifter, a handyman, maybe eccentric, but harmless. Beneath that mask lurked a predator. Psychoanalytically, this duality screams narcissistic personality disorder. Narcissists crave power, and Brueckner found it in dominating his victims. His choice of Praia da Luz, a tourist haven filled with transient, unsuspecting families, was no accident. Predators like him thrive in chaos, where they can blend in. He wasn't just a criminal. He was a chameleon, slipping into lives like a shadow. Now, let's talk about his victims. Why them? Psychology suggests predators like Brueckner don't choose randomly. They hunt based on opportunity and symbolism. Madeleine McCann, a 3-year-old on holiday in 2007, was a perfect target. Vulnerable, accessible, and a symbol of innocence. Her open bedroom window was a predator's invitation. The 72-year-old woman he raped in 2005? She represented something else. Perhaps a stand-in for authority or a twisted projection of his rage against women. Psychoanalysis might argue he was reenacting unresolved trauma, punishing surrogates for his own pain. His crimes weren't just violent. They were ritualistic, steeped in fantasy. Reports from his 2016 property search in Germany paint a horrifying picture. Children's clothes, photos of young girls, chemicals like chloroform, and a hard drive buried under his dead dog. These weren't trophies. They were relics of a sixth sacrament. The Madeleine McCann case is where Brueckner's darkness burns brightest. On May 3rd, 2007, Madeleine vanished from her family's apartment in Praia da Luz. The scene was a parent's nightmare. Her bed empty, the window ajar, her siblings asleep nearby. German police believe Brueckner abducted and killed her, though he's never been charged. Witnesses and investigators paint a chilling portrait. A former cellmate, Laurentius Coden, claimed Brueckner confessed to the abduction, describing how he slipped through the window during a break-in. Another friend recalled Brueckner boasting, "She didn't scream," hinting at a calculated act. The hard drive found at his abandoned factory in Nieuwegersleven, purchased in 2008 for £20,000, allegedly holds evidence of Madeleine's death, including disturbing images and stories of child abductions. Police found Skype chats where Brueckner discussed capturing something small and using it for days. This isn't just crime. It's a window into a mind consumed by sadistic fantasy. What drove him to such extremes? Let's break it down psychologically. Brueckner likely suffered from antisocial personality disorder, marked by a lack of remorse and a thrill for violating norms. Combine that with pedophilia and narcissism, and you get a man who sees others as objects to manipulate. His crimes were about power, not just sex. Raping an elderly woman or abducting a child gave him godlike control, a way to rewrite his own narrative of powerlessness. Psychoanalytically, his obsession with children might stem from regression, a retreat to a childhood he never fully experienced, where he could dominate instead of being dominated. The chemicals and masks found at his lair suggest he planned his attacks meticulously, fantasizing about rendering victims helpless. This level of premeditation points to obsessive-compulsive traits, where rituals became part of his psychological armor. The violence itself was savage, unfiltered. Take the 2005 rape. The victim, a 72-year-old American tourist, was alone in her Algarve home when Brueckner broke in. He tied her up, beat her, and assaulted her for hours, his face masked to heighten her terror. Police reports describe a scene of chaos, blood on the walls, furniture overturned, her body bruised and broken. She survived, but her testimony revealed a man who relished her fear. "He laughed when I screamed," she told investigators. This sadistic pleasure aligns with sexual sadism disorder, where inflicting pain fuels arousal. For Brueckner, the act was a performance, a way to assert dominance over a world that had rejected him. Madeleine's case, though unproven, is even more gut-wrenching. Imagine a 3-year-old, tucked into bed, her tiny frame barely visible under the covers. The window creaks open, and a shadow moves in Brueckner, silent, practiced, his heart racing not from fear but excitement. Did he drug her, as the chloroform in his lair suggests? Did he carry her into the night, her small body limp in his arms? German police believe he killed her, possibly photographing the act to relive it later. The hard drive, hidden beneath a dog's corpse, is the stuff of nightmares, USB sticks and memory cards filled with images no one should see. A police dog led investigators to the grave in 2016, unearthing a wallet with this digital horror show. The Sun reported that Brueckner's stories, found in the same search, described drugging and abusing children as young as 4. This was an impulse. It was a lifestyle. How did he evade justice so long? Brueckner was a ghost, moving between countries, living off the grid. His camper van life in Portugal gave him mobility, anonymity. He exploited the Algarve's transient population, tourists who wouldn't notice a drifter lingering too long. Psychologically, this reflects instrumental aggression, calculated, goal-driven violence. He wasn't lashing out. He was hunting. His ability to charm, to blend in, points to a high-functioning psychopath, someone who could mimic normalcy while plotting atrocities. Neighbors described him as quiet and polite, a classic mask for ASPD, but cracks appeared. In 2014, he reportedly flew into a rage at a kiosk he ran, screaming about making bodies disappear when Madeleine's case came up. "Pigs eat human flesh," he allegedly said, a chilling hint at his methods. His downfall began in 2017, when Portugal extradited him to Germany for child abuse. In 2019, he was convicted of the 2005 rape, earning 7 years. The Madeleine investigation heated up in 2020, when German police named him the prime suspect. Evidence piled up. Emails from a Hotmail account opened in 2007, linking him to the case, a satellite device tracing his movements near Praia de Luz, and that damning hard drive. Yet, he's never been charged for Madeleine's disappearance. In October 2024, he was acquitted of unrelated sex crimes, though prosecutors are appealing. As of May 2025, he's in prison for insulting guards, his release delayed to early 2026 due to unpaid fines. Every day he remains behind bars, buys prosecutors time to build a McCann case. But let's pause for a philosophical lens. Brueckner's life is a study in existential nihilism. He rejected meaning, morality, connection, creating a world where only his desires mattered. His crimes were his rebellion against a universe that gave him nothing, no love, no stability, no purpose. In his mind, he wasn't a monster. He was a god, rewriting reality through violence. Yet his end, trapped in a cell, mocked by journalists as he smirks and dodges questions, reveals the futility of his quest. He sought power but found only cages. Philosophically, he embodies Camus' absurd hero, chasing meaning in a meaningless world, only to crash against its indifference. His smirk, captured on May 15th, 2025, as reporters asked, "Did you kill Madeleine?" isn't defiance. It's denial, a refusal to face the void he created. This is the heart of Brueckner's terror. A man who turned his pain into a weapon, his victims into mirrors for his brokenness. Psychology shows us a mind shaped by rejection, fueled by compulsion, and unbound by conscience. Psychoanalysis reveals a soul trapped in its own darkness, reenacting traumas it could never escape. As you sit there, heart pounding, imagine his shadow still out there, lingering in the cracks of the world. He's locked away for now. But the question remains, how many more like him are waiting, watching, planning? The answer is what keeps us up at night.